The air in our living room hung heavy, thick with the scent of her lavender perfume and something sharper. Something I couldn't name, but felt like a blade against my ribs. Sarah sat across from me on the beige sofa, her fingers twisting the hem of her cardigan, her hazel eyes darting to the floor. "I need to ask you something," she said, her voice a fragile thread, barely holding. My stomach churned. The way she avoided my gaze, the way her foot tapped a nervous rhythm against the hardwood, it was all wrong. 10 years of marriage, and I'd never seen her like this. Not when we fought over money, not when her mother passed, not even when we thought we'd lost everything in the flood. This was different. This was a crack in the foundation of us. I leaned forward in the armchair, the leather creaking under my weight, and tried to keep my voice steady. "What's going on, Sarah?" My heart thudded, each beat a warning I didn't want to hear. She swallowed, her throat bobbing, and when she finally met my eyes, there was a flicker of something. Guilt? Fear? I couldn't tell. "It's about Ryan," she said. Ryan. Her best friend since college. The guy who'd always been too close, too present, lingering like a shadow at every milestone of our life together. My jaw tightened, but I nodded, waiting. "He's been struggling," she continued, her words careful, rehearsed. "And I was thinking, maybe he could stay with us for a while. Be closer to us." The room tilted. Closer to us? What the hell did that mean? I forced a laugh, sharp and hollow, cutting through the tension. Closer how exactly? My voice was louder than I meant, and she flinched, her hands freezing mid-twist. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken truths. Her lips parted, but no words came. Instead, her eyes welled up, and that's when I knew. This wasn't about Ryan needing a place to crash. This was something else, something that clawed at the edges of my trust, and tore it to shreds. The first hint had come months ago, subtle as a whisper. A late-night text lighting up her phone, her quick swipe to dismiss it when I glanced over. "Just Ryan," she'd said, her smile too bright, too forced. I'd brushed it off, told myself I was paranoid. Ryan was her friend, her confidant, the guy who'd known her before I did. But then there were the lunches that stretched into dinners, the work trips that left her phone off for hours, the way her laugh changed when she talked about him. Lighter, freer, like it used to be with me. Each moment had been a pebble, small enough to ignore, piling up until they formed a wall I couldn't climb. "Say it," I demanded now, my voice low, trembling with a rage I didn't know I could feel. The room felt smaller, the walls pressing in, the ticking of the clock on the mantel deafening. Sarah's tears spilled over, her hands shaking as she pressed them to her face. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered, her voice breaking. "It just did." My chest burned, like someone had poured gasoline on my heart and struck a match. I stood, the chair scraping against the floor, my hands clenched into fists. "What happened, Sarah?" I didn't recognize my own voice, raw, jagged, a stranger's. She sobbed, her words tumbling out in fragments. "Ryan and we got close. Too close. I love you, Tom, I swear, but I love him too. I thought, maybe we could make it work. All of us." The words hit like a sledgehammer, splintering everything I thought I knew. All of us? The idea was absurd, grotesque, a mockery of the vows we'd made under a summer sky a decade ago. I saw her now, not as my wife, but as a stranger wearing her face, her voice pleading for something I couldn't comprehend. I paced the room, my boots thudding against the hardwood, trying to outrun the images flooding my mind. Her with him, their laughter, their touches, their secrets. "How long?" I asked, stopping to face her. Her silence was an answer, heavy and damning. "Months," she finally admitted, her voice barely audible. "Months. Months of lies, of her slipping into our bed beside me, her skin carrying traces of him." I wanted to scream, to shatter the framed photos on the wall. Us at our wedding, us on that trip to Maine, us building a life now revealed as a lie. But I didn't scream. I sat, my body heavy, my mind racing. Doubt crept in, slimy and insidious. Had I pushed her away? Worked too many hours? Missed the signs she was unhappy? The questions gnawed at me, each one a betrayal of my own heart. I loved her. God, I loved her. But love felt like a blade now, twisting deeper with every breath. "Why didn't you just leave?" I asked, my voice cracking. She looked at me, her eyes red, raw. "Because I didn't want to lose you," she said. I thought we could find a way. The absurdity of it burned. A way? With Ryan? I saw him in my mind, his easy smile, his charm, the way he'd always lingered too long at our dinners, his hand brushing hers as he passed the wine. I'd trusted him, trusted her, trusted the life we'd built. Now that trust was ash and I was choking on it. Get out, I said, the words cold, final. Her eyes widened, a fresh wave of tears falling. Tom, please, get out. I roared, the sound tearing from my throat, shaking the walls. She stood, trembling, and grabbed her coat, her sobs echoing as she fled into the night. The house was silent now, save for the clock's relentless ticking. I sank to the floor, the hardwood cold against my palms, and let the truth settle. She'd betrayed me, yes, but the deeper cut was her belief we could rewrite our love to include him. I thought of confronting Ryan, of fists and blood and rage, but that wasn't the answer. No, I'd make her regret it. Not with violence, but with truth. The next morning, I called Ryan. His voice was cautious, guarded, when he answered. Tom, meet me at the cafe on Elm. I cut him off. 1 hour. He showed up, his face pale, his usual confidence gone. The cafe buzzed with morning chatter, the clink of cups, the hiss of the espresso machine. But between us, the air was dead. She told me everything. I said, my voice steady now, a blade honed overnight. His eyes dropped, shame flickering across his face. I didn't mean to hurt you, he said, the words weak, hollow. I leaned forward, my gaze pinning him. You don't get to decide what hurts me. I pulled out my phone, opened the email I'd drafted at dawn and hit send. Copies to Sarah's parents, her sister, our mutual friends. A detailed account of her betrayal, her proposal, her lies. Not out of spite, but to strip away the secrecy she'd hidden behind. You both thought you could rewrite my life, I said, standing. Now live with the truth. Ryan's face crumpled, but I walked away, the weight of betrayal lifting with each step. Sarah called that night, her voice frantic, begging forgiveness. I listened, let her words crash against the wall of my resolve. You made your choice, I said, and hung up. The house was empty, but for the first time in months, I felt free. The truth was my weapon, and I'd wielded it. She'd regret it, not because I'd destroyed her, but because she'd destroyed us, and now everyone knew.